What round they rise to find that?
You're playing touch butt with that dork in the park, the ponytail. And I'm the one who ain't got no training partner. I don't think so. Seem to have it all figured out when you're playing midget.
60 G's, baby!
Dust of Shakedown begins right now. What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Then we are live with another episode of Dust Up Shakedown, and joining me today is my brother Jordain. Jordain, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Long day at work, but we get there, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. We're here. And we have a special guest. As you can see in the title, we have Terence Balelo, Terence the Black Panther Balelo, and Coach Hayden in the house. How you doing, big?
Good, guys. Good.
We good. Doing well. Hola. What's up, Jordain? What's up, Jordain?
Yeah, good to see you, mate. As always. I'm sorry, awesome. I'm sorry, I'm not repping the Black Panther merch, but I'll be on it soon, bro. Cool. I'll be on it soon.
One day.
Don't worry, man. We're gonna get him there, man. We're gonna get him dressed accordingly.
I've told him I'm gonna buy some soon enough.
Nah, man, we always showing love for
Terence is always bouncing around in his birthday suit. Anyway, you never see him with a t-shirt on. You know what I mean?
Gotta show up.
For real. We always love repping Black Panther on this channel, man, on this platform, and that's what we do. And look, there's a lot going on in the MMA world. There's a lot going on in the UFC. And a lot of the times when we come on this program here, we talk about some of the stuff that's been going on in the MMA news. And one of the main ones, as I put in my thumbnail, is George Masvidal coming out of retirement. Now we know this brother game bred. If there's a street brawler that we know is really, really about it, he is that guy. We saw what he did to Colby Covington in the octagon, and then Colby Covington obviously beat him in the octagon, but outside the octagon, because of all the talk that Colby was talking, he ended up knocking out one of his teeth. Colby ended up suing him in court, but Masvidal does not care where he throws down. Jordan, I'm going to come to you first before I go to Coach. What's your take on this whole Masvidal coming out of retirement again and trying to get into MMA again?
Is he coming back as a heavyweight? Have you seen him? Yeah, I mean, man's cutting about with a belly at the moment, but fair play to him if he wants to come back. That's the thing. Obviously, I'm not a fighter, but what you learn from speaking to a lot of fighters is that hunger never goes away. Yeah, I mean, the passion, the love for it never goes away. Even though they say that's me, I'm done, retired, like they always want to come back for that one more, or there's always going to be another challenger along the line that gives them that spark. You know what I mean? Kind of makes them want to come back, puts the fire in the belly again. And I think that's just what it is. You know what I mean? He sees the movements and he wants to come back.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the thing with Masvidal is a very, very stylish fighter, explosive fighter. He's got a lot of finishes in his hands, and if there's one thing about him, everybody wants to see him fight, whether he wins or loses. And Coach, you've been around the sport a long time, and we know your knowledge in the sport is right up there with some of the best coaches around. But what's your take on fighters like Jordan has just said, fighters that's retired and getting the itch to come back in? How would you, as a coach, prepare a fighter like that to? Oh, they've just lost signal.
Oh, I thought we might have lost them. I was like, they're either sitting really, really still, or we've lost them.
We were saying about the South African signal, my life.
That's
you know what I mean. What we're gonna do with that? But in the line of question that I was trying to prepare for Coach, to get somebody, especially like you said, like have you seen the size of him?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get that mind? How do you get that person to, to refocus their mindset on not just what they're going back for? Because for some people, it's money, innit? Mm-hmm. Some people, it's just the itch of getting back into the octagon. Yeah. Some people, maybe they don't feel fulfilled with the career that they thought they left behind, and
Yeah.
they want to do some more about it. Oh, here they are. They're back.
Sorry,
Yeah,
guys, man. We
no,
had a bit of load shedding here by us.
uh,
So
All
to
good.
didn't wanted to kick back in.
we know what it's like. We know what it's like in
Yeah, man.
South Africa. We know what it's like in South Africa. But like I was saying, uh, how do you refocus the mind of somebody that's retired to then come back and take fights? We've seen it with Cejudo, and now we got Masvidal talking about it. How do you, as a coach, help them refocus to get themselves back into fight mode, if you like, after retirement?
Sure. Look, I think it's most important. I think it's a mindset at that age, and coming back out of retirement. It's more of a mindset, and I think the older you get in the game, the more you sort of become a coach, and it becomes difficult to be a coach and a fighter at the same time. And I think that is maybe a few of the difficulties you will struggle with coming out of retirement. But like you saw Romero and these guys show, no matter your age or no matter where you at or what weight, they still throw down. So the skill level is there. So if the guy's got the fight is in the dog, then let the dog fight.
That's it.
Yeah. You said it perfectly there. I mean, Black Panther. Let me come to you. One of the main things that Masvidal said in his in his commentary is that he can't go out on a L. He's not looking to retire on a L. That ego that you have to have as a fighter, because I've seen some of your some of your post fight interviews, and you have to narrate to people and let them know this is not arrogance, it's just confidence. There's a fine line that you have to walk with as a fighter when you go to battle. But for somebody like Masvidal that has a lot of ego about him, he's saying he can't go out on the L. Do you think that's a good reason to really come out of retirement and see if things go your way, to try and catch some W's?
Sure, it's crazy because it's a difficult one because at the end of the day, he's done what he has to do in the sport. Now he got the BMF title. He's well off, man. The guy is rich. He's got his own promotion going on, and maybe it could be an ego thing where he's like, okay, I want to get back in there just for the love of it. Just like Jordan said, the passion is still there, the hunger is still there, and it's a different ball game. Same as coach said. Now look at Cejudo. You know what I'm saying? It's different now coming back and fighting these young guns. There's a lot of killers in the 170 division. Who is he gonna fight and get a win? Against. The only guy I see he can beat at 170 would probably be Tony Ferguson. That would be a good fight for him to get a win and just go back into retirement. But yeah, I feel like it's I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Masvidal just want to make some cash again. Cash that back in again. But
Yeah.
let's see how it goes. Let's see if he comes out of retirement. But the question is,
really-
who's going to fight him?
You really don't like Tony Ferguson, do you?
I love Ferguson. Come on, Ferguson.
No.
Flesh.
I can give you a name. There's a new guy on the block that the UFC just signed. His name is MVP Marco Venom Page.
Oh,
Against Masvidal. MVP is going to hurt Masvidal. Come on,
yeah,
you know that
that's a
already.
heavy.
He's
That's a
going to hurt
heavy
Masvidal.
fight. That.
You ask who is he gonna fight? Just for let me throw something out there and see, because MVP ain't had a fight in a minute as well. So both of them ain't really been active. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. You know what I mean? And they're both in and around, not the same age range, but they're in their 30s, both of them. So
Yeah.
it's just
Is
something that
MVP fighting? So is he fighting Kevin Holland?
Kevin Holland, yeah, he's got Kevin,
Yeah.
he's fight now. That's a serious fight. That's
a serious fight.
That's a serious fight. But let me come to you. Let me come back to you, Coach. We've seen somebody like, say, Masvidal, and Terence is here thinking like, who does it fight at 170? I don't particularly think he makes 170 again. Jordain made a point of it earlier on that you say, like, because making this weight, we know what you have to do with with Terence. Terence has even told us that sometimes he has to go and take a number 2 just to get some.
Yeah. Look. The older you get, the more difficult it gets to cut that weight, and the recovery is not the same.
It's
So
horrible.
I don't think it takes. I don't think it takes the fight there. I think he moves.
They just frozen there. They just frozen there again. But it's hard to make this weight cut. But here's another person that I think could probably get in there with him. Conor McGregor. These two, Conor, I don't even think Conor making 170. Conor talking about 185 with Chandler the other time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if there's one person that's always wanted to fight Conor, it's Masvidal. And
It'll
I
be a
think
good fight. I think that'll be a good money fight.
Yeah.
It would be a
I
brilliant money
think
fight, right?
it will be better than the Chandler fight. I think honestly, more fans will tune in to fight like that.
Yeah, but I mean, Jordain, what do you think to that? Like, when you look at the way Connor's messed Chandler about, I don't know if Chandler would even want to get in there with him. Like, Chandler
I
already,
don't even,
you know what I mean,
go on.
fulfilled his
Yeah.
side of the deal. And Connor just messed him about. But
I
do
don't
you
even think Connor's coming back.
Well, there's something that I saw recently with the new testing organization, and Connor right now is the most tested fighter under the UFC roster.
Or what? Twice or something? I seen he was
Four
tested
times.
twice, 4 times.
He's been tested 4 times.
Be
Which is
interesting to
showing
see.
Is because the whole point when we was talking about Connor coming back or not is him not being in the testing pool. But now he's now the most tested fighter since they've had these new people come in, and that's showing me that is looking to he's looking to go back and to get back.
It is maybe to look. I just didn't think it's going to be happening yet. I mean, he's been dodging around this fight now for ages with Chandler. He's like talking about Gaethje, who's lined up with Holloway. I mean, he's talking about people that just aren't in line to be fighting him right now, and it just doesn't seem like he'll be coming back anytime soon. He's away being a movie star, sitting on his yacht, getting blowjobs at noon. You know what I mean? Like he's just living the high life, man.
Yeah, I mean, when them silk pajamas start rolling in like that, you know what I mean?
That's
it. It's difficult, man.
Flip-flops.
In the morning I make that jump. Look, this is the level that every fighter wants to get to at some point, and I get it because everybody, you're not in this for a joke. Every fighter is a prize fighter as far as I'm concerned. They're fighting for something. But let me come to you, Coach. Aljamain Sterling, because we just seen what happened with Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez. Right? I did not see that happening. Crazy. I fuck with Brian Ortega heavy, but at this point, going into this fight, I just thought to myself, you've been out for so long, going to fight somebody like Yair Rodriguez, especially what happened in the last fight and the way the last fight was going. I wasn't so sure whether he was going to be able to turn it around. It surprised a lot of people, including myself. And looking at it now, Aljamain Sterling is now saying he could come up there and exploit both of their wrestling. What do you think to that from a coach's point of view, from training stance and maybe the kind of skill set that Aljamain Sterling possesses to go up to 145 and challenge those big guys over there?
Look, I think the game has developed now where guys are walking around at bantam and fighting at fly, or walking around at feather and fighting at bantam. So look, it's all about how you're going to perform at that weight class. I mean, if you look at back in the day with when Izzy moved up to light heavy, we all thought it's going to be a stand-up show, and that weight is something different. Being a heavyweight fighter myself, light heavyweight, that even that people think, okay, you light heavyweight, you can catch a heavyweight. It's a different ballgame. You hit a bit harder and things like that. But I think, look, he's always been walking. He's always had some crazy weight cuts. So I think he'll fit perfectly in there. And his performance should be good. It shouldn't be too much of a. I think he will still have to drop to get into that weight.
Terence, when you saw that fight there with Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, did anything surprise you about the way that Yair Rodriguez performed, especially after that first round? Because that first round, I thought he had Brian Ortega. He dropped him, with one of them calf kicks. Especially, I mean, during the announcement when Bruce Buffer announced Brian Ortega must have rolled his ankle or something. It looked like he got injured before the fight even started. But the way he went in and did the job, was that surprising to you? Did you enjoy it? What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was surprising because remember I did the picks for the Mexican card,
Yeah.
and I picked Yair, and I was like, okay, Yair came off a title fight against Volk. He won the belt against Emmett. Ortega's been out, with some personal stuff going on in his life, and just for Ortega taking that damage in that first round, I was like, no, this is over. Ortega's gonna crumble. He's gonna crumble from here on out. And he just turned the table just like this. And I was like, what's going on here? And he started breaking Yair. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And just by putting on that pace and just coming forward, being in his face and making Yair fighting on a back foot and just throwing defensively. And then he got the takedown. It was the same takedown the whole time, just tripped him, took him down, got on top, and he got that the arm triangle in, and I was like, OMG. Ortega, T-City is back. And yeah, but that's the thing about T-City, man, you never can count him out, but I counted him out, and I fall in my fault for that, for counting him out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about this fight game, you guys know what it is. He can turn just like this.
I'm guilty as charged too.
That's I was about to say it too. I went against him as well. I thought maybe the timeout, everything that was going on, and again, one of my reasons as well when I was going through it was the activity from Yair Rodriguez recently, as well as his most recent fight. But what I did say was that Ortega gave Volkanovski one hell of a more competitive fight in the championship fight compared to what Yair Rodriguez gave him. But I still sided with Yair Rodriguez like an absolute rookie.
Your own, man. This is the fight game. This is what the fight game does to you, man. And you can't always get them all correct. But in terms of coach, in terms of with Ortega now, like, where do you think Ortega goes? Because I didn't think UFC was even expecting Ortega to win this fight. They were more looking at maybe Yair Rodriguez and maybe go and see Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is the king of that division right now. Shout out to Ilia Topuria. He got granted the Spanish citizenship by the Spanish prime minister, for bringing some honor over there to Spain, and maybe they're going to get some UFC Spain going on over there very, very, very soon. But now, what does this do for Brian Ortega? What does it do for Yair Rodriguez in your eyes when you look at that division? What's next for those guys?
Look, I think they both got to prove something before they can get that title shot. I think they got to put in the work. I think Ortega's got to prove again that he can do it with somebody else, and then I think then he should be ready to line up. Whoever gets the W next should be the number one, and depending on who they're taking on. Look, the confidence is now on Ortega's side, so whoever he's gonna get, he's riding a high. So that training regime, everything is going to kick in, so you never know. He's a fight away from a title shot. You never know how and he brings something else to the division. He brings that unexpected ground game that not a lot of them show. They got the movement on the ground. He shows that his grappling is on when it counts. He squeezes, he's not there going. So it opens up a lot for a lot of people that like you say, it's an unexpected victory. I think the UFC wasn't expecting it. They were thinking, okay, he's finishing off. It's a few retirement fights for him, 1 or 2, but now he shocked the whole list is messed up. So now all the coaches are thinking, what's next? That whole division has got to work, and it's opened it up for anybody.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the next 2 W's or a W on somebody big, they're getting that title shot.
So I'm gonna stick with you here, coach, because there's something that I wanted to pick your mind on, and from a coach's perspective, what what you really think of how calf kicks has really changed the game in terms of how it's how it gets used. We saw with Justin Taffa the other day, he got calf kicked to death, right? Adrian Yanez, shout out to Adrian Yanez, you know what I mean? Big friend of the show as well. His last fight with Rob Font got calf kicked to death, right? A lot of people are now using it. We saw it with Cheeto. The same thing with O'Malley when he damaged O'Malley's legs with that calf kick. Now it's now a weapon of choice for all these fighters. From your perspective as a coach that got all the experiences that you have, how important is this part of the tool now being added into MMA and the way it's being used to a fighter's advantage? What's your take on that?
I think my personal opinion on that is if he's throwing the calf kick and your check is on point, he's gonna take the damage. So I think the art has not really been the calf kick, has always been there. I think it's just that the defensive technique has been a bit forgotten about. Everybody's
Oh,
focusing on wrestling now and takedowns and takedown defense. That basic calf kick that was something that was a setup all the years is now becoming a sharp tool, because if you look at how many guys fight and how many guys really check the kicks, a lot of them want to absorb the kick and take it. But if you check in that kick and you can check it correctly, that calf kick and damage can break a foot with a right check.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion. I just think it's good coaching to see the gap, but I'm sure a lot of guys will be working on that check-in and that front foot movement and light that Muay Thai. You're going to see a lot of Muay Thai stance coming back with that foot tapping, because that's some sort of art that has been forgotten. It's more boxing, quick hands, throw in a head kick, and you win the fight. So now you're gonna go back to that basic Muay Thai, calf kick, inside calf kick, outside calf kick. That's gonna be the game changer. And I think that's just something that makes MMA what it is, unpredictable. It's today a calf kick, tomorrow a suplex, the next day a rear naked choke. It's just how the fighters develop and how they move their skill to get the best out of what they need to get out of that situation.
Jordain, I mean, we've been sat there and we've watched many are watch alongs and watch all these fights together and stuff. And the way that this stuff is being utilized nowadays is absolutely is mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on the way it's being used now? And as coach said, people it's always been there. It's just they're now remembering to check it, as I said.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Like the coach said there, like it's kind of like fashion. That's what I was when you were speaking there. That's what I was thinking about. It was like it's like fashion, in it. It just turns around and it comes back, and it turns around and it comes back, and that's what you could think about that in a perspective of MMA strikes or MMA techniques. Like one thing becomes really popular, people, like you said, you're going to need to start checking that shit. Otherwise, you're going to be walking around with a lot of sore legs. Once people start checking it, shit, right, let's stop doing that so much because everyone's on that game, and let's start looking at something else. And then let's start looking, and it's just going to go round and round. And that's all I could think about when he was talking to them, was like fashion turns around, MMA techniques turn around. I don't know why that analogy came to my head, but that's what that's what was going through my head when he was talking about that there. But it is an interesting point. Yeah, I mean, everyone's using it, right? People are going to start checking it. And like you said, boxing and wrestling seems to be the base that everybody goes for at the moment. And like you said, a lot of people used to just use that as a setup. Let's go for the calf kick so I can get a bit closer and start striking with my hands. You know what I mean? Or let's go for the calf kick and then maybe go in for a double leg or whatever it looks like.
Okay, let me bring this back to Terence, I'm gonna come to you in a minute because I'm using every juice or time that I can get with Coach to try and get Coach's take on some of these topics. So I will be coming back to you, Terence. Bear with me for a minute, my brother. Right, Coach, you have a plethora of fighters on your hand, and you're facing a crazy cardio machine like a Merab Duvashvili. How do you cope with a Merab? How do you prepare your fighter against somebody that weaponizes cardio the same way that this guy does? Because Merab is been an animal in throughout the whole division. No one's really been able to get past the efficiency that the pressure that it puts on fighters. But you as a coach and even a fighter like you said, how do you prepare a fighter to against somebody that weaponizes cardio so much?
Look, I think it comes down to tiring him out. You got to work something out that's going to make him tired. So if it means you got to get on top and ride him, take him to a position he hasn't been before. Mostly he's got that top control. He's always dominating there. So if you can put the reverse on him and let him fight behind him when somebody's on his back or somebody's on his top of him, I think it can change the game. You breathe different when you're on top as when you're at the bottom. So I don't think anybody will keep a stand up. I mean, he goes for days. He's constant. He's relentless. He's got that craziness in him with his cardio. It's just the work ethic is there. So I think you just got to work out a strong game plan and stick to it and try and execute. And you control the fight, not let him control the fight. Because as soon as he feels he's in control, he goes into another space and he just grinds it out.
Terence, you're the one that's in there, right? Taking all of coach's instructions and just listening to the voice as it guides you. But you're in there with this guy, he just won't go away. The cardio is just there. This guy looks like he's just about to start round 1 when you're in round 4, brother. What's going through you? Is it because as a fighter, like that shit must fuck with your mind while you're in there in the moment in the cage. Like, yeah, it's all right for coach to be outside the cage giving you the instructions, but you as the man that's in there fighting somebody that's not going away and is looking fresher by the round. How do you might have seen it in sparring, you might have maybe had sparring sessions with people like that. Like, how do you deal with that?
Just kick his calves. just break down those legs. With a guy like that that's constant coming at you, I think it's where you should shove that mindset of telling yourself that, listen, yeah, if he can do this, if he can come forward this whole time and be a maniac, I'm gonna turn up and be a maniac as well, and just let's just make it fire against fire, and just go out and just bang with him. But you gotta knock out the guy like that early, otherwise he's gonna keep on coming, and you gotta be on point also. You gotta be sharp in all areas. Your defense gotta be good because you never know when he's gonna shoot. Look what they did to Pitian. Dude took Pitian down. Most of the time I was like, come on, this dude is crazy, and it just keeps coming. And with that type of cardio and that type of fitness and that type of conditioning, makes him even more tough to because Cejudo clipped him, and it was still that because of the cardio that he has and his fitness, he can't go down because he's in such good shape. So that means you got to level up as well as a fighter and get your cardio up there as well. But the calf kicks is gonna work, man. Just you see what calf kick do to people. That slow people down. But yeah, and step some tips into that midsection there. Step some push kicks in there, into that liver. But you gotta shine his lights down. But for me in there with a guy like that, I'll just he's got to take me out because I'm not going nowhere as well. I'm gonna be there with him toe to toe with him. Let's go at it because I can dance all night as well.
Crazy. Crazy. Well, you heard it there. Man said, you got that same cardio too. We got a question here for Coach, from Wolfie. He says a question for Coach. Do you think cardio can beat cage IQ or fight IQ? What's your take on fight IQ versus weaponizing cardio, Coach?
Yeah. Um, Look, I'm a firm believer if talent doesn't hard work beats talent every day of the week.
Mm,
So look, when it comes to with IQ and cardio, I think I'm gonna go with a bit of fight IQ. If somebody's coming in a bit rushed and he's not worried about getting fatigued, if that fight IQ is there and you can use that cage awareness, where you are, how you're moving him, you can tire him out with IQ. You can make him tired just by the movement. So I think fight IQ is important. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have a good understanding of your body and your opponent's body. And I think that sometimes overpowers cardio most of the time. That's what makes MMA fighters good. Is that fight IQ. Otherwise, anybody on the street would be a UFC champ. Because I'm sure there's a lot of guys that got high cardio, but get in the cage and the nerves. And once you get hit in the face, you need a different type of cardio.
100%. And yeah, our boy Robocop, that's my boy right there. Wolfie is just yeah. Thank you, Ola, and thank you, Coach, for answering that question. Um, the other thing that I wanted to bring up as well is, your promotion, EFC. There's a lot that's going on in that promotion right now. But first of all, because this is the first time that we're having you on the show, I wanted to maybe get your take on now having a UFC champion that's come off from your promotion, the EFC, that's brought the gold over to South Africa, and what's all that been like for you as a coach, and if it gives you any inspiration to want to better your fighters and see them get to the top of their game, and I'm talking about Dricos here.
I think, look, from a coach's side, or it's good for business. First of all, being a South African and having somebody win a UFC title, I think from the business side of things, it grows the sport in our country to another level. But I'm also a firm believer that there's a lot of talent here out in South Africa that has the capability of doing it. I just think they're not afforded the opportunities. So I think he opened a few doors. If not, he opened the back door and the front door now for these guys to use that platform to get to the next level. So I think overall it's great for our country and for the sport of MMA in Africa as a whole. I think with all the politics and everything with him and Easy, let's call it what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a good opportunity for us as a whole, as the MMA community in South Africa. I think it's our grassroots amateurs, those type of things. The numbers are going to pick up. Every kid wants to be, they want to have a role model as a world champ. So I think for that aspect, it's great for the sport. But we still got a long way to go with the guys. That is, it's some people just see South Africa on one side, but there's a total different side of South Africa. So it's tough. So, but we don't use it as an excuse. We use it to embrace it. Like I said, talent is. You see how many fighters in Africa. It's just in our blood to be champions. So I think from an African point of view, yeah, I would just love to see the easy trickers fight. To be honest with you, if I can say, like you said, it will be good if they can throw it down here in South Africa, Cape Town, one of the most beautiful cities out there. I think by all means, let's make it happen. Easy, you know where we're at. Stay about anytime. If you need a facility, you know where we're at. You know what I mean? So come check it out. I think it's a good opportunity for us. Like you say, Spain is looking to have a UFC shortly. So we're hoping the same for South African MMA with Dricus winning the title. And I mean that will allow guys like Terence that opportunity, the Faizes, the guys out there that's doing it, the opportunity to get on that UFC card and have a stab at becoming a world champion in the UFC. I think talent wise they've got what it takes. It's just now getting that opportunity that we've been waiting for.
100%. And staying with you there, because I was on the phone to Terence when when he got the shout to go and compete for the interim bantamweight title, but there was a lot of discussion that had to go between both of you as well in making that decision to fly out there for him to go and compete. What was that like for you? Seeing your boy lift up the title, because this is not something we've spoken about before, but to have his hands raised after 10 days of being in there with Gift and it didn't go his way, but to go over, we call him Big Balls Balelo. Yeah. to really go and secure the belt like that, you must have been very, very proud. What was that like for you, brother?
Yeah, look at like I'm sure Terence told the story a few times. Getting a call the morning before the fight, it was a shock. But I think after the loss, we analyzed early when we got back what was the downfalls and where we felt we saw the mistakes and what we needed to work on. I don't think it was very much technical, maybe a little bit of mental. But when we got back, we were straight back in the gym, working out. It's almost like that week we was set up as a fight week. We had some wrestling, we had some sparring, we had all those things in that place. So when the call came, I think we were ready for it already. We were ready for a rematch, be it with Gift or whoever was gonna come. We were ready to fight. I don't think we wanted to finish the year off like that. So it was exciting. It was hard work. And like I told him from the beginning, or we knew this is a game of opportunity. I think MMA is it's when you take your chances and when your opportunities come. If you take it at the right time and you're prepared, that's when magic happens. When it's God's timing and your preparation, I think that's when magic happens. And it happened that evening, like you say, 20 days before that, almost 30 days before that, you take your first loss in your career as a fighter, and to come back, I think 30 days later and win a division up, I think it just shows character. It just shows the skill level that he's got. So yeah, for me as a coach, I think it's exciting. We both have the same goals. We goal driven. We want to end up on top. So we're gonna walk that journey till we get there, no matter if it's a stumble or fall. I think at the end of the day, it's like they say, the old saying, it's not how many times you get knocked, it's how many times you stand up. So we'll keep standing up and make sure we don't take a loss again and keep the W's till we get to the top.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we ask parents all the time, like, yeah, when you gonna come show us the gold, man? It's like, oh, coach has got the belt, man. You know what I mean? Coach has always got the belt.
Yeah.
Coach has never
It's downstairs.
right.
It's downstairs.
That's what I'm saying. It's downstairs. No, seriously. It was a proud moment for everybody that follows and watches, that's watched the career of Black Panther and the way that he carries himself. I've said it. A lot of people that seen him have said it. Jordain here, from the moment he got to know, Terence, he's a superstar in the making. And everybody can see it. Jordain, let me come to you. Right, the scene in South Africa now, and the level of fighters that they got coming out of there. We've spoken about this numerous times, but the level of stars that are coming out of there now. How far do you think South African MMA can go in the grand scheme of like world MMA? How big do you think they can really get?
they've already shown us how far they can go. They've got a world champion in Dricus du Plessis. One can do it, they can all do it. You know what I mean? And like I've said before as well, the pride that brought the nation together, not just the Springboks. You know what I mean? MMA brought that country together, which was unbelievable. Like, crazy to think that that's where we're at in the world of MMA now, that it can have such a movement on a country. And there's people that wouldn't even normally look at MMA twice. Like I've said, I've got people at work that are South African that I couldn't even sit and have a conversation about MMA with because they've not got a Scooby-Doo about any of it. But they came into work the next day, Dricus du Plessis, and I was like, mate, like, what? How have you even heard of this? You know what I mean? But every one of the family members are talking about it. It's all over the news. They were seeing it on the social medias, on the phone in the morning, wherever it was, it reached it. So South African MMA, I wouldn't say this is the start, but like Coach said a minute ago, this has opened the front door, the back door, the fucking kitchen window. Everything is good to go. You know what I mean? 100%. And they can all get aboard. And we've got one champion. Why not? Let's see more.
Sky's the limit. I totally agree with you. We've got a question here from Wolfie. Big up Wolfie. My bro, salute to you. He says, question for the champ. Did your first loss make you a better fighter?
I would say, because I've lost before, to be honest with you guys. I've lost before in the amateur scene. I've lost before in life. It was just a thing of me being in sync with myself and telling myself that I can get it done, man. I can get it done. And I know what type of fighter I am. I know what type of person I am. When I set my mind to something, I'm gonna go get it. And I got the first L, but it still doesn't feel for me that I lost that fight. No, for me, it feels like, come on, that's just a small error I made in it. And it I wouldn't say it made me learn more. It made me more cautious about the fight business, man. Make me more cautious and made me more experienced, as I could say. I'm more comfortable now. I'm more comfortable now being in a cage, and I'm more aware of what can go wrong in the fight business. Because at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 thing when you go in there. But if you're not mentally there and betting on yourself, then it's a no-go. So, but I would say yes. It made me a better fighter, but I'm always improving. I'm always down to learning and getting better and being a sponge and being open-minded and just get better, man, and just learn. This is an exciting year for me. Stay tuned. Shout out to the question as well, Wolfie.
Yeah, man. Salute to Wolfie, man. My boy Robocop, big up yourself. And he's just said, I know your drive, and I know it couldn't have been easy for you, champ. Big up yourself. I got a couple questions before, because I'm very, very time conscious, and thank you so much, Coach, because you've given us way more time than you said you was gonna. So thank you so much.
No, we've kind of ignored Terence for the entire thing. We've only got a coach for 10 minutes, so just give him all the questions. 45 minutes later, you know what I mean? Terence is sitting there like,
gotta get everything out of the coach, man, while I can. You know what I mean? It's not a man that we got access to all the time like that, man. So when I got it like this, we got to make it count. Couple more questions, and then we'll get you guys out of there, because I know we've had a long day. I've been seeing Terence working. He ain't stopped working all day. Salute to you. Ryan Garcia is the one that started piping up in the MMA world, and I'm gonna come to you first, Jordain, on this. Ryan Garcia's talking about he's gonna destroy O'Malley in the octagon, not in the boxing, even though they've had back and forth. But this man is saying he want to step in the octagon because he beat his security in wrestling. Now, before I come to Coach, is that a how do you call it? A good reason to go and fight somebody at what level like Sean O'Malley in the cage because you beat your security in wrestling? Talk to me,
100%. 100%. Like we said before, wrestling and boxing is the base for MMA now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Let's
Yeah, get him
go.
in there. Let's see it happen. Yeah, fuck, mate. He's gonna take 2 leg kicks and he's gonna go shit. That's all that's gonna happen there. I mean, his lead leg's gonna get snapped up, and then yeah, I mean, Sean O'Malley's a fucking sniper, bro. Like counter strike, snipe, bang, and he's not even gonna. And again, it's more than wrestling and boxing. Like the dude's being silly. It's the same way I feel sometimes when you get a lot of MMA guys saying they're going to go into boxing. I'm like, that single art. You're going to go into a fight against some dude that's been training one single art for many more years experience than what you have, many more fights, many more times in the ring, and you think you're going to let's put Francis Ngannou to the side. The man hits like a Ford Escort, and that Tyson Fury fight was not how anybody expected it to go. You know what I mean? But the average MMA fighter going into boxing doesn't work. Average boxer coming into MMA, like I said, a couple of leg kicks and he's going to shit his pants. You know what I mean? Like Terence Balelo on Fight Night. Is that I need to lose a couple on weigh-ins. I need to lose a couple more pounds there. Boom. Let's drop those kicks.
Coach, what about you? I mean, for somebody that he spent all his life fighting as a boxer, and because he beat his security in a little bit of a wrestling grappling situation, maybe during sparring, he thinks he's confident enough to really walk in, because one thing I am sure of, Sean O'Malley as a striker in the UFC at UFC level in the bantamweight division, his takedown defense is got to be on point for people to even think about taking him down in the first place. But what's your take on it? And having seen somebody like Sean O'Malley through his career and Ryan Garcia.
Look, like they say, it's you got to choose your lane. Eh? You know what I mean? You got to choose your lane. You're either a boxer or you're a fighter. Like I say, a few calf kicks can change the whole game. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're not used to it, and I don't. To be honest, I don't think he's putting enough time in that wrestling. Look, wrestling's big in the States. So he might have wrestled as a kid. He might have been doing it on the side. I think maybe through primary school or their high school career, the wrestling is big in the schools. So maybe he does have something, and that's where that confidence comes from. But I think putting it into all together and mixing it up is what's the difficult part of it. And I think that's also what makes something different to. It's easy. I think it's more easier for a mixed martial artist, an MMA guy, to step into, let's say, boxing or Muay Thai, but to win, low percentage. Like you said, you can't go against somebody that's training something for years, and you want to come and step in there. So look, there's a few fights that have proved us wrong. You know, the Paul brothers and so on. They've shown that they've taken out some big names in MMA, but it's in a boxing ring, so it's a different type of fight.
Yeah.
But I think O'Malley takes it every day of the week. I think just the leg kicks alone will change the. You want to get to the takedown.
100%. Black Panther. A shout out to all the rats that infest in the chat right now. My salute to all of you. My big up to my brother Lee Gunner. Big fan of Terence Balelo as well.
Shout out.
The rats in the house. Salute to all of you, man. They've infested the chat, man. Big up to all of you. Big love. Let's talk about Conor McGregor, right? Because I know Terence, Conor is your inspiration. You've mentioned this so many times in different interviews. But Eddie Hearn is saying here, I mean, the UFC should pay whatever it costs to get Conor back in the cage. What's your take on this? Talk to the people. Talk to the people. Big love to everybody. Salute to all of you, man.
It's true, because Conor, with Conor on the card, brings something different in all the fighters. If you put Conor on a main event card now, everyone on that card is going to come out and show up. Everyone is going to start talking trash to their opponents. Guys that hasn't even been speaking while on the mic is going to try and speak like that on the mic and go at it for their opponents. Because just Conor being there, picture a fight week with Conor on the card. It's a lot of energy. It's a good payday for you as well. It's on the undercard. it's just good business at the end of the day. And I would love to get Conor back. I would love to see Conor fight maybe in this year still. I don't know if it's Chandler, Diaz, or even a Masvidal fight. If Gamebred thinks he or believes he gonna get that W, but yeah, man, I would love to get Conor back on the scene and just get that fuel again from him and just that energy that he brings to the table because he somehow takes everyone on this roller coaster ride with him, and it's just a magnetic thing that it's so crazy, man. Because I watched this documentary again. Was Monday, and I was just sitting like this staring, and I was just like in the moment. And coach's son Carter, he was talking to me, but I was just like focused on the documentary. I was like, damn, this Conor McGregor does something different to people. It's just him. It's just his energy, his personality, his character, and who he is. But yeah, I feel like it. It's got a lot of money in the bank. So let's see what happens. Because Dana can afford him. We never know. We never know. We never know. Let's see.
Yeah, man. I know you probably have a whole different take to this whole Conor situation because we've seen Conor at his pub. He's at it again with this ebony chick. I mean, this brother don't leave the chicks alone, man. Maybe one day, big balls Balelo, you might be like Conor.
Shit. Well, did you just when you mentioned that big balls? Did you say Ela Taporia called him out and said, "Hey, Conor, your balls big enough?" And Conor actually came back with one of the best
Right.
comebacks he's had in years. He's like, "Bro, I've had 4 kids. You know what I mean? Of course, my balls are big enough."
Let's go.
I
He
just
always
thought
got
that
to
was
come back.
classic Conor, mate. That's probably one of the best lines he's come out with in a few years. Like,
I got 4 kids.
100%. We know what Connor's like. Right. Before we get out of here, one last one. Dana White. I'll start with you on this one, Coach. Dana White said about John Jones retiring after the Stipe fight. He doesn't think he'll retire after the Stipe fight. He thinks John Jones is going to actually hang around to fight somebody like Tom Aspinall, who's the interim champion. Do you think because that fight got shelved and Jones got injured, when he comes back, he should just be fighting the interim champion? Or has Stipe earned the right and the respect enough for them to still put that fight together, let John Jones and Stipe do what they need to do, and then Tom Aspinall fight the winner of John Jones and Stipe?
I think that's the way to go. I think Stipe and John Jones. I think that's the fight that is required. That's the fight that needs. The fans want that fight. He wants that fight. I think they both deserve that fight. And I think after that, I think John Jones leaves and he go fighting Ngannou just to make that last little buck. I don't think he's finished yet. I think he's maybe still got about 2 fights left in it, where he can definitely. He's shown in his last fight this levels to it, and he's just got that IQ. He's got that fight game. He might be a little bit old, might be a little bit slower than people think, but I think he's just got something different. And that mindset of his is that grind that he's got, it's crazy. So I think out of respect for both of them, just to finalize that true GOAT status as the best heavyweight, I think both of them deserve it. So I think they get that, and maybe Tom gets the winner of that fight if he's lucky. Either they retire, or I don't see Jones fighting him. To be honest, I don't see Jones fighting him. If he wins the title, I think he retires and maybe go fight outside of the UFC and get a money fight. You saw he was at PFL the weekend.
I was just about to mention that.
That's just a time to tell you, chick, I'm here still. I'm willing to cross over. Let me sort my business out on the side, and then we cross over. Look, they didn't face off, but they commented against each other. They had them talking at the same time. So something's in the water there.
John Jones, the Saudi prince. That's what's coming up.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
I mean, Jordain, what's your take? What's your take on the whole thing with John Jones Stipe and Thomas Pino, because Thomas Pino is somebody that you are affiliated with, you know he's the people in his camp. What's your take on this whole situation here? And do you think that fight actually happens? Because like my man
I
said,
hope it does. I hope it does, mate. I mean, we've spoke about it a couple of times in the past, and I think it needs to. Like, what was the whole point in the interim belt if that's not really going to be happening? And obviously, they want to come back. They only have that Stipe fight, a legacy fight. I get it. I would like to see it. Are we going to see it? I honestly don't know. I really don't know. And then when you look at it from both sides, like you look at it from John, why would he want to go and fight Tom and potentially smear his legacy a little bit by going against somebody that's a prospect that could potentially do him? You know what I mean? Because Tom's very good all round. You know what I mean? Like the speed that he's got, the power that he possesses, his grappling's phenomenal. His submission threats there. He's not going to get walked through like Garn did by John Jones either. Like it's going to be a really tough fight. Does he want to do that? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it's all down to John.
I don't know. We got a question here for you, Coach. We've got a fight that just been announced by the EFC. Adrian Sanchez. Shout out to Adrian Sanchez and Tapiwa Katikati. Shout out to him as well. We both know, their gyms from PFA SA and combat coaching with Coach Mornay. What's your take on this bout? Because it's one of the quickest one. And Fight We Showcase said, "Who do you got?" On top of that,
Phew. Look, I don't.
No comment.
Tough one. Tough one. Look, I think it's a short notice for Sanchez. I think it was supposed to be Van Tonderen against Taki. And then so it's a short notice fight, but I feel the Cape Town guys, I'm gonna go with the Cape Town boys.
I'm gonna go with the Cape Town boys.
We'll go with the Cape Town boys, gotta support that homegrown stuff. So all the best for him, and I hope he brings that W back for us. It just promotes the sport to another level. But I think short notice fight, it's tough. It's a 50-50. Taki's got some mad power also. So if he lands, and I don't know how active Sanchez has been now. He's been preparing or so and so. All of the best for him, and the guys fighting now in the EFC card. It's the short notice fights is a bit dangerous, from my opinion. It's risky. It's high risk fights.
Look who's sitting next to you.
That's what I'm saying.
The king of short notice fights right there.
Yeah. Hopefully he can take some pointers from Terence.
Yeah.
Our Terence did it on a short notice, because I think that's not even so weak. So yeah, I know the boys train hard out here in Cape Town. So big ups to the guys from Cape Town. Shout out, repping our hood. So bigs up to him. I'll go with him on this one.
All right. Okay. And what are you most looking forward to apart from like your students? When you look at the EFC roster as a whole, what bouts are you most looking forward to? Or if you was a matchmaker, who would you put together and say, you know what, this is my dream fight? I just want to be a fan and just watch this fight on the EFC roster. Which fight would that be for you? If you could do the magic one and be EFC for 1 minute.
I think the bantamweight is one of the most contested weights in the EFC at the moment. Not just because I'm sitting with the interim champ next to me here, but I think if you look at the names that are there, I think the top 4-5 guys are all former champs. They've all gone on to fight organizations out of the country, and they're all slowly making their way back, just to keep fight ready. So I think it's tough. There's some crazy fights. There's some teammates that are 1 and 2 in a weight class. So there's a lot to the line in the division, in most of the divisions. I know the heavyweight, light heavyweight's a bit stagnant aside, but I think tough. I think a few champ fights won't be bad. I think in the EFC, just to spice it up, won't be bad.
Yeah. I think we have one lined up already. We Gift and Zulu Those two going to be throwing down, champ, like you said. Those two going to be throwing down very, very soon. And it puts your boy in the picture once we got a result from that situation there. Is that something that you're looking forward to, Coach?
Yeah, most definitely. But before, I just hope they make weight, because we ready. We'll be on weight. We'll be on championship weight. Come weighing. So if any of them is not feeling up for it, by all means, we ready as ever. That's always been the goal. So we hope, we wish them all nothing but the best on the weight cut. But if they're not feeling up to it, let us know. Even it's on the same day, we'll be there. We'll be on weight. We'll make it official.
Don't let that go over your head, people. The coach has just thrown down the gauntlet. Yeah, for the champ fight that's coming up in the EFC card between Gift and Zulu. If any one of them ain't feeling like they could make weight, Terence, the Black Panther Balelo, will be on standby, ready to make official weight and compete for one of those titles. Coach, I think that's the best way to leave it on tonight. Thank you so much for coming up, for joining us tonight. You've been absolutely superb. And
you too, Terence, mate.
Shout out to you as well. Big up yourself. Thank you for pulling up tonight. My brother Jordain, always in the cut, always around here, pulling out the show for us. Salute to all of you. It's been a fantastic show, and we got a lot of great takes from you. And Terence, you know we support you on this show. You know we fuck with you heavy, and we're gonna keep getting people to get eyeballs on your work. We're gonna keep getting you all the followers, all the supporters, and everything that we can do for you on this platform. We're gonna carry on doing for you, my friend. Is there anything else that you want to say, my brother?
I just want to say thank you for having us on the show tonight, and always being there behind the scenes, Ola. Like I've been saying all the time. I'm always going to give you guys a shout out after every fight. Shout out to you as well, Jordan. Another. How can I say, UK brother from another mother. Appreciate you guys, man. You guys' IQ is so good when it comes to these questions and just the fight business as a whole. And I appreciate you guys with all my heart, man. Nah, much respect.
No,
Anytime I interview, I'm down. Let me know.
Always,
I
mate.
think from my side, I just want to say much appreciated. Salute to you guys, to all the guys asking the questions out there. We appreciate your support to Terence and the fighters from Cape Town, South Africa. We appreciate the platform you give us, or allow the athletes to express themselves on that stage. So all the thanks a lot to you guys from the Fight Week show. Much respect. Salute from the West Cape. Master Kenneth.
100%. And we just want to say thank you for your time. And people, everybody that's watched the show tonight, big love to all of you. Salute to you guys. You guys are the best. And big up to Lee Gunner for sending in the rats to come and infest the chat. You know what I mean? We love it. And big love to all of you, man. If you're new, make sure you're hitting the like button, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, and make sure you're following Terence, the Black Panther Balelo, on his Instagram. His description is going to be his link is going to be in the description below. And make sure you're following Jordain as well. The Rambling That podcast is doing great work on his channel over there. Big love to him. And people, up until the next video, hasta la vista. We're out. Salute.
The Fight Week Show.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe.